This is PRMG in the moment. Paul Aceto here with Paramount Residential Mortgage Group, and otherwise known as PRMG, and we are here at the 8th Annual Leadership Conference in beautiful downtown San Diego. We're at the Marriott Marquis Hotel, and I have a very, very special guest with me today. In fact, I have one of the founders of PRMG with me, Mr. Robert Holliday. How you doing, Robert?
Doing awesome. Thanks,
Good
Paul.
to see you, brother. So, Robert, I just wanted to ask you a couple questions, and right now, I want to start out with, this is your show. You and Paul orchestrate this along with Chris Sorensen and the team. What is it that you're looking for your leaders to get out of this particular event, generally speaking?
Well, it's called Leadership Conference.
Right.
So I want my leaders, or our leaders, to come back with something that's going to resonate with their teams. Mm-hmm. Just one thing. Just take one thing back, whether it be an idea, motivation, a goal.
Exactly.
Something to come back to where they can share with their team to take them to the next level. So it's a great way to collaborate with other branches, meet new people.
Yep.
So love it.
And I love what you said there. And I'll tell you something that's kind of interesting is that last year we were trying to do something virtually, right? I know we had done it in the past. In 2020, we navigated the virtual space. This year we're back to being belly to belly. I mean, you and I are literally sitting together here, and I can tell you a lot of the managers. I mean, we had like 160 people
at least. Yeah,
160 people actually showed up for the event, so it kind of shows you where people's minds are. They're eager to come back. They're eager to get back in the saddle. And with the leadership that we have at PRMG and people like you, they gravitate to it. So I met with a lot of people, and they all kind of corroborated that they enjoyed being here and they got a lot out of the show. So my next question was going to be for you, and this is something that, because, by the way, Robert was an originator. This is the real deal, built by originators for originators.
Yes, I was.
And he's operations as well. As a branch manager, for the new branch managers, what do you think is important for them to get out of it? What would you say to a new branch manager as it relates to leadership?
I tell them I want them to listen to others. Why reinvent the wheel?
Right.
Follow in others' footsteps to see how they've done things. Getting acclimated to a new company is sometimes different. Mm-hmm. Transition's hard. We understand that the transition from one company to another is difficult, but when you get to hear how the successful people are doing it and how they did it, why learn by your mistakes, learn by others' mistakes?
Yeah.
And so I think by new branch managers seeing successful branch managers succeed at PRMG, it makes it a lot easier. And when you get to see people in person, it's a different personality. I mean, like I said, belly to belly is real. And we saw that last night at the baseball game. We had...
that was amazing, by the way.
And sorry, Padre fans, but the Angels won 4-0.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. And I got to tell you, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, you've been doing these leadership conferences for a long time. And the idea of being in San Diego, is kind of neat. And it's a little bit relaxing. And it just kind of created, I think, an environment that did, as you just said, it allowed people to kind of maybe just take a step back and actually get a little reprieve too. I know some of us are on because we're on stage and that's part of our job. But I think my take is that a lot of the managers are really walking away with some great imparted information. Chris talked about the 8 core values that he had, or what I forget what he referred to them as. And I think Sorensen's doing a great job as always.
He always does.
He always does.
He knocks it out of the park.
Yeah, I think so too. One of the best orators ever, MCs ever. But that was the main thing I wanted to get out of you. And maybe I can ask you this: is just any thoughts for the future where PRMG is going, and maybe you might want to share a little bit about where we're moving on the technology side of things a little bit. I know we touched on the path to pivot to future technology. And
I think we always have to be relevant. I think as times change, we've been doing this 20 years, it's our 20-year anniversary.
Yeah, that's right.
We've made it 20 years. We always knew we'd get here.
Yeah.
And so it's going beyond. And while we use this kind of slogan, me and Paul will say, we're kind of dinosaurs, kidding aside, technology is important. Yeah. I think you have to be relevant in the technology space, and especially social media. I mean, it's changed from the time I originated alone.
Oh, of course.
You know, sledgehammer and, you know,
Yeah, chisel.
chisel. So fax machines, we did have fax machines back in the day. Those were fun. But I think you just need to be relevant in the social media space. And I noticed today when Robin was talking, how many people aren't taking advantage of that. And so I think we have to make sure that you're relevant in that space and you're out there, because you can talk to so many people with a social media page, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, and all those things I don't have. So
no, but I tell you, you know, you're touching in an area that I've been dabbling into, and I'm more socially active on social media, so I do understand what you're saying. And Kevin Peranio, one of the other partners in the company, always says, you know, and he's big on tech. He says, don't lead with tech, leverage tech. And that's really what Robert's speaking to. You know, we got all these great tools. We have our new digital lending and marketing team, which Robin Clayton's doing a great job with, and her team. And you know, the idea is now, you know, we have so many platforms that you could use, so many platforms that you could leverage. It's just picking something and doing it and moving in a direction. And I really think that that's what I'm getting out of leadership. It's just don't sit idle on the sidelines, but to literally take action. And
I think you always have to, especially, we just went through the last 2 years, which we're in a pandemic, but we had the best 2 years in the company's history, which means all the managers had that. But I think as we move forward, you got to be even more on your toes, because the market's going to continue changing.
Correct.
And you take Karen Weger, who is a relatively new branch manager, made president's cabinet, and it resonated with me when she really said, you know, Robert, I won't use exactly what she said, but just, I'm not great. I have so much more to give. I don't even use social media. I'm using old belly-to-belly relationships, which is great, because that's how we built this business, and I don't think that's ever going to go away. But to your point, I think you leverage social media to add to your platform and just to grow your business. So, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity out there. I don't think the mortgage industry is going anywhere. I mean, yes, it's going to get more competitive. We built a great foundation. And like I've always said, you can't have a great company without great employees. And we were so blessed to have some great leaderships and great employees.
Wow. So another thing that just occurred to me, you know, you had mentioned about the 20 years, and of course we were at the 2-decade mark. Did you ever think you guys were going to get to this point?
I always knew we were going to get to this point.
I love that answer. That's a great answer.
There was never a doubt in my mind. I mean, I know with hard work, dedication, commitment, we were always going to get here.
Yeah, because
it was a little more work than we thought, but
straight out of the high desert.
I always say if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it.
You did say that, and you said that yesterday. Yeah, this is not an easy business. It's not just for everybody. You have to have the wherewithal and fortitude and the determination to be successful in this business, regardless of what your position is, but primarily as the originator. It takes a lot of I want to say a lot of grind and grit.
It's all worth it, though.
Isn't it?
It is.
It's great.
I mean, we get to help homeowners with the biggest purchase they're ever going to make in their lives.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's a huge decision. Well, you know what, sir? I know you're a very busy man today, and I know you got a few more things to go wrap up, but I got to tell you, Robert, it's an absolute pleasure being part of the company, and it's a pleasure that for me on a personal level to still be able to be with you and serve.
Proud to have part of the team.
Thank you so much.
And your video yesterday was awesome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much.
So, good job.
So this is Paul Aceto, and I will see you in the next PRMG in the moment.